Last question. We're out of time,
Sure,
but I'm going to give you one more question. During Jim Crow, could your family have existed? You are in an interracial marriage. Your wife is a white conservative activist. Could your family have existed at all during Jim Crow?
No, it could not, Joy, and we all know that. But that's why I am blessed to live in America today as opposed to America during that time. But we cannot ignore the realities of not having fathers in homes. That is important for Black people today and all people today as we move forward for a better America.
We are out of time. What I'm grateful for is that we do not live in the Jim Crow era and that fathers do not face the threat of lynching.
I'm very grateful of that.
Perhaps don't bring up Jim Crow when you're trying to make that example.
That was just a small part of my interview with Florida Congressman Byron Donalds last night. We'll be dissecting that little chestnut and some of the rest of the week's political news with our Friday political panel. Joining me now are Basil Smikle, our brand new MSNBC political analyst, the public policy program director at the Roosevelt House Institute of Hunter College and Democratic strategist, and Clay Cane, host of the Clay Cane Show on Sirius XM and author of The Grift: The Downward Spiral of Black Republicans from the Party of Lincoln to the Cult of Trump. Thank you both for being here. And Clay, I have my copy right here. I believe I'm still waiting for a signature on it, but I've got it here, and it is why I wanted to have you on today. Because I want you to explain to me what these guys are doing. Because Byron Donalds, you know, he wouldn't know from personal experience. His family's Jamaican, you know what I mean? So his family wasn't here during Jim Crow, nor was mine, right? But he is smart enough to know that life was not better for Black families during Jim Crow, yet he went right to that trope after talking about having a single mom, meaning he's latching on to the trope that what LBJ did was create a bunch of Black welfare queens by saving us from poverty. So why do they do it? Why do they do that?
It is for proximity to power. It is to get a lot of donations from the Heritage Foundation. And I have to say, the interview was so powerful, Joy. With the second edition, I might have to include some quotes with the grift. But, you know, I want to say this, too, and I mean this respectfully. This is not an indictment of interracial relationships. As you know, I have a Black father and a white mother. Byron Donalds, Tim Scott, Herschel Walker, Wesley Hunt, they have all made these disgusting comments about the Black family and Black fathers and Black mothers, and Black fathers must stay with Black mothers and Black marriages, yet they are all partnered with women who are not Black. So it's very perplexing to me that you have these huge indictments of the Black family and you aren't partnered with the Black person. If you have this great investment in it and you are making yourself an expert on it, then I would think that that would be important to you in your own personal life, but it isn't, because it isn't about the Black family. Because if it was about the Black family, you would care about fair housing, fair wages, health care, voting rights. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act that Byron Donalds voted against and then went back to his partner who happens to not be Black. So it is a racial security blanket, as some great folks said on social media. And I think about an article from the Heritage Foundation saying that America needs a Black Wives Matter movement. Well, your very faces of that are folks who happen to not be with other Black folks. So it is grifting on your race. It is the blueprint from my book, and it is really disappointing. And my father, his birthday was this week, was in my life every step of the way. My grandfather was raised in the Jim Crow South and left the Jim Crow South to build his own family. So he knows what he's doing. And I think that his supporters may be, he used the word invigorated, might be invigorated by those words.
Yeah, I mean, it is a thing, Basil, that, you know, I mean, and Tim Scott, you know, so Tim, and both of them are claimed to be Trump's VP picks. I don't believe it at all. First of all, Byron Donalds is in Florida. They'd lose the 29 electoral college votes. It's absurd that he's, just like he was going to be speaker. And that was also admitted to have been just because they wanted to have somebody Black. Tim Scott has now launched this $14 million outreach effort to minority voters. Based on what? He doesn't have, what Black people is he leading into the party by, I don't want to use a derogatory term for what he's doing, but it's a dance that he does for Donald Trump. He dances for Trump, humiliates himself for Trump. How is that supposed to bring Black people into the party, into the Republican Party?
Well, I mean, that's exactly right. If you remember, after the 2012 election, there was supposed to be this exploration of why the Republican Party is not attracting people of color. Look how well that did. And, you know, it really is upsetting that, you know, he's being used as he's an avatar. He's an avatar for what other people not only are saying internally, but they're saying out loud, and somebody that looks like me is actually being used to go ahead and promote those kinds of talking points. It's really antithetical, I think, to the people who fought and died in a movement that allowed him to have the kind of marriage that he now celebrates. It's really just absolutely absurd, but it also signals a policy initiative, a policy turn, right? Because I don't think about this in a vacuum. I have to think about this as sort of a larger, broader strategy that someone somewhere, whether it's Heritage or any other group, is now trying to make policy based on some of the things that people that look like me that shouldn't be saying these things based on what they're saying. So it is. Yeah. It is absolutely really, really disturbing. And I'll just make this other quick point, that these really cynical opportunities that the Trump campaign and some Trumpists, this outreach, so-called outreach to communities of color, to African-American voters, is so half-hearted. It's so cynical. Yeah. And quite frankly, I hope that voters really turn a blind eye to it and see it for what it really is.